I want to show you something that's really cool, but it might twist your brain in half. I don't know. Let me show it to you, and then you can take it or leave it. What we've seen so far is we've seen how to create a basic class rule or class selector, and we've seen how to go and apply that class selector and edit it and remove the formatting and so on. That's great. But what if we had more than one class rule? And what if we wanted to apply multiple class rules to the same content? How do you do that? This is sometimes referred to as multi-classing, by the way. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go and create a second class rule, and then we'll talk about how to apply multiple classes to the same content. So go ahead and flip back over to your code and make sure that you're inside your internal style sheet, of course, inside the head area of your document. And what we'll do here is we'll go and code in a second class rule. I'm going to call mine .emphasis. Now, your name doesn't really matter a whole lot. Again, no spaces or special characters. I've put a space after emphasis and then open squiggly bracket, and then don't forget to close your squiggly bracket. And then I'm going to throw in 2 spaces and tap my left arrow key once. All right, now, of course, inside the squiggly brackets, I'm going to go and throw in my CSS properties. Now, I'm just going to throw in some quick properties here, nothing too crazy or insane. I'm going to go background dash color, full colon space, and I'm going to type in yellow, followed by a semicolon and a space. And let's see, I'm going to type in font dash style, full colon space, italic. There we are, semicolon space, and one more. Let's do font hyphen size, full colon space. And I'm going to try, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to try 10 point, followed by a semicolon. All right, so we've gone and defined a second class, of course. And now we want to go and use this class inside our document. And as a matter of fact, we want to apply this class to some of the same content that is making use of bold. So how do we do that? Well, here we go. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to try applying a second class to the second paragraph inside my document. Let me show you inside the browser. This guy right here underneath Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. So in other words, this paragraph underneath Prince Edward Island, underneath Charlottetown, is actually going to be under the control of 2 classes rather than just one. So back over into my code, I'm going to look for the class attribute, this guy right here. That's the guy that I'm after, class equals bold. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the class equals bold intact, but what I'll do is I'll click right after the D in bold and put in a space and then type in the name of my second class rule, which for myself was emphasis, just like this. So now it reads class equals, and then in quotes, bold space emphasis, just like that. Let's save this guy up, head back to the browser, refresh Control-Command-R, and now what I wind up with is a paragraph that takes on the formatting from both rules. Does that twist your brain in half? What might twist your brain in half if that didn't do it is this is the cascading effect of CSS in live action once again inside our browser. So what's happening here is the final result that we see inside our web browser is a combination of both bold and emphasis. Imagine the 2 styles, the 2 rules are working together to give us this final result. Of course, this makes long-term diagnosis somewhat of a challenge. Looking at this going, okay, where's the yellow coming from? Where's the blue coming from? Where's the underline coming from? And of course, I have to go on a wild scavenger hunt inside my code to figure out exactly what's happening and exactly what rules are creating that result for me inside the browser. Now, what's neat here is just because I created emphasis with the sole intention of applying it to a paragraph or to content that's already under the control of an existing class, doesn't mean I can't use this emphasis class all by itself. For instance, I can scroll down in my document and I can go and apply it independently all by itself. So go ahead and find some content inside your document. Doesn't really matter where. I'm going to go and throw a span in here and then space and then class equals and then in quotes just emphasis all by itself. And then I'll close my angle bracket and then of course I'll go and close out of that span. save it up, back over to my browser and refresh, and there's the emphasis all by itself. That's what it looks like, sort of a highlight with the italics in there, the font sizes in there as well. So I can use it all by itself, or I can use it in combination with other CSS rules. And I gotta stress here, this isn't isolated just to class rules. We can use this with other rule types as well, which we're going to be getting into very shortly. And of course, at any time, I can come back to my class rules, even the one that I just created, and I can go and make a change to this guy. Instead of yellow, I'm going to go with green. Save this up, back over to the browser, refresh. Ooh, that's not really working for me, but you get the idea. We can always come back and make a change, and we're going to see those changes ripple across our document. So, take a few minutes, have some fun. I'm dumping some neat ideas at you here. And again, we are quickly rushing closer and closer to the full-on description of exactly how the cascading effect in CSS actually works.